I remember the whole case. Yeah, so what is your question now then?
So like I said, the issue is, basically what was happening then is still what's happening now. There's, number one, the first question of, why did you feel as if you're the appropriate person to handle whatever situation since you reviewed?
I was contacted by your mother because she wanted to do family therapy with you.
Mm-hmm. And you said you reviewed, right? So, did you review my response to you?
Sorry?
Did you review my response?
Yes, I did, and so I tried to get a response from you. You were very clear you didn't want to be contacted anymore. So
no, that's not true, Mark. What, again, if you reviewed my responses to you, my response is, the question that I have for you even right now is, why do you feel as if, either back then, you made that decision, that it would be appropriate for you to be contacting me?
Since your mother gave me, I'm not exactly sure.
I understand that my mother would say to you, I would like you to contact me. However, if you're not able to explain...
Group email, I believe.
Exactly. Well, you contacted me, and then I put her on the email, and then you tried to take her off again, but the fact is you contacted me because my mother wanted to do therapy, right? And I said to you, the thing with that is...
I can't remember that exactly. I thought your mother contacted you.
No. It would be that would make no sense, Mark.
No? I can't actually remember how that all went.
Well, you have the email chain in front of you, don't you?
Well, it's not the very beginning of it.
Yeah. Well, I'm telling you, you contacted me. Yeah. That's the whole reason why
your mother tried to initiate some family therapy with you. She wanted to have a better relationship with you, as far as I remember. And so that was why it happened.
Exactly. And what I said to you again is, why would you feel that's appropriate to contact me? In other words, here, let me approach it a different way for you, Mark. On the Marriage and Family Therapist Organization website, it says marriage and family therapy is brief, solution-focused, specific with an attainable therapeutic goal, and designed with an end in mind. When you contacted me, I basically responded to you and said, what I need from you is kind of understanding what is the goal of this therapy as far as, couples therapy, because as far as I have every understanding, that's not appropriate for many reasons that I stated to you, specifically that they're kind of specific matters to my mother's mental health, not a group situation. But more specifically, it's just that, where it's brief, solution-focused, specific. So whether it was then or now, how could you actually help with therapy?
By doing therapy. I help a lot of families when they talk to each other.
No, I understand that, Mark, but I guess what's happening then and now is that you're not understanding somehow you're disregarding a pretty intense thing, and it's only one thing, which is my mother, for some reason, has repeated over and over again that she's in therapy with you. That, in other words, that she is communicating with you about things that I've communicated with her about. That's a big deal. So you're kind of disregarding that as it is, and that's the main reason for therapy, is that my mother seems to believe that she's in therapy even though she's not. So that's where it's kind of odd to involve me in it. I can be involved, but I would need to kind of have a solution focus, right? The solution would be at some point in time my mother understanding that it's not appropriate to say she's in therapy with someone if she isn't.
I have no idea what your mother says to you. All I know is that's portraying
I'm telling you, and it's also in the email. The last email again also states clearly to you, I am ready to begin therapy with you. That's the last I heard. And she's still saying that she's in therapy with you. So that's the main issue right now, which is she or is she not in therapy? And if she's not, then obviously it's something that needs to be addressed.
If you were in family therapy with me, I'll be able to talk to you about...
Well, Mark, again, I don't have a problem being in family therapy with you, but you would need to have a solution-based focus. Again, this is what the issue is. It's very simple, Mark, and I don't know why, as a therapist, you're convoluting this into a bigger issue. As far as I know right now, my mother is delusional. That doesn't involve me. A family therapy session doesn't involve me for her to realize whether or not she's being delusional and whether or not she's lying about being in a therapy session. Now, what you're suggesting is, let's forget all that and then schedule a family therapy session. Fine.
No, I'm not. I've never once said that. All I'm saying is, if your mother was
But my mother has, okay, Mark, again, you're convoluting things. My mother has already stated that she would like you as a therapist. So the only other person missing is me. And again, the only thing I am doing is trying to follow these guidelines by the Family Therapist Organization that says, hey, if you're going to be in family therapy, it should be brief, solution-focused, specific, attainable therapeutic goals, and designed with the end in mind. So I'm trying to move forward because you're saying you can't do something unless I'm part of the therapy session. So obviously, because it is a problem, not something that just goes away, then the next step would be, okay, then I need to be involved in the therapy. But I also need to have a solution-focused, a therapeutic goal. So I'm trying to get the conversation to that, please.
So, can I just try and dim it down a little bit?
There's nothing down, man. We're just trying to move forward. So can we just try to move forward would be the more appropriate thing to do. There's no conflict here. You already have one patient who has already said is seeing you. The last email states they would like you to be their therapist, and you have another participant, which is me.
That was a year ago, and I haven't.
Again, Mark, you're bringing up conflicts. So, again, my mother recently. Otherwise, unless you're believing that I'm just waiting a year to contact you, my mother recently has said she's in therapy with you. So that states that she is willing to.
If you can send me an email from your mother and you.
Mark, I can't do that because, again, my mother's delusional. What I need from you more than anything is to find out whether or not you're trying to scam or not. Because right now, I don't know whether or not my mother paid you. But I do know that she has said that you are her therapist. And somehow or another, as her therapist and someone who potentially may have gotten paid from her, you somehow or another don't want to actually participate in a therapy session. That is odd.
What don't I want to participate in?
Being a therapist, Mark, again, moving forward and stating what would be the solution-focused solution with therapy. Moving forward on this. You're acting as if somehow or another my mother isn't wanting to participate. Again, the reason I'm contacting you is because my mother feels as if you're an appropriate therapist. Whether that was a year ago or now, everybody, as far as anybody knows, that is the truth. So the only missing... Listen, you're shouting at me, and that is not right. I am not shouting at you. I am trying to get you to answer a question, and so I am trying to, again, repeat myself over and over again.
I cannot continue this conversation while you're shouting at me.
I am not, again, just so then, Mark, just please talk. So what would be the solution? How can we move forward?
There's a huge misunderstanding going on here, right?
What is the misunderstanding?
The last email I received was in August the 7th, 2020.
We've already gone over that, Mark. Right now, the only misunderstanding is that you seem to believe that there's an obstacle to starting therapy, even though you can't even state what would be the purpose of the therapy. We already are at to the point that therapy wants to happen, so I don't know why you're stopping that.
I don't believe I'm a good fit for you to help you in this therapy. I don't think I'm not a solution-focused family therapist, and if that's what you're looking for, I can give you some other names and places to to go.
Well, no, Mark, what I need now, though, is then, can I get your license number, and then what is the appropriate body to have this investigated? Because this is extremely odd.
What is extremely odd?
You have a patient, you have a person who is stating that they're your patient, and...
Yeah, but maybe they're not my patient. Who's my patient?
Again, well, that's why you're being contacted, Mark. Again, I'm not contacting you for the fun of it. You're being contacted because someone is saying they're your patient, and you have contacted me saying, this person is my patient and would like to participate in therapy. It doesn't matter, Mark, as far as I know. Again, this person has recently stated this. I am not calling you because of a year ago. I am calling you because you are the person on record, as far as I know, to be her therapist, and there are mental health problems happening currently, urgently, that need to be addressed. Now, again...
Maybe I'm not her therapist now. Maybe...
Again, Mark, this is not a maybe situation. It's not maybe she paid you, maybe she didn't, maybe this, maybe that. You are a professional. So again, move forward into what the actual question is now. Since you already said we're already done with everything else, I just simply need to know who are you licensed by and who can I contact to investigate this?
Who am I licensed by? I'm licensed in California.
By which organization, Mark? There are various organizations.
If she's delusional and she's in trouble, then she needs a therapist.
You are her therapist, Mark. I'm not going back and forth on this. Again, I just need your actual number. Give me your license number, please.
It's 39550.
And registered with who? I know it's California, but there are various organizations. Are you verified as well with the American Association for Marriage and Family Therapy?
Go online and you'll find all my information there.
Are you actually verified? Again,
Google my name and everything will show up. My license number is very clearly stated. I've done nothing wrong. I saw your mother. I spoke to her maybe once or twice.
Mark, I know you've done something wrong, because the fact of the matter is, right now, again, you were contacted to initiate therapy with 2 willing participants, and you are deciding somehow or another that there's nothing you can do at all in a situation that is urgent. Again, you're blowing this off as if there's no fucking problem with the fact that somebody's stating that they're your patient, as if that's perfectly normal, okay? That is not normal, Mark. It is a problem. This has been going on for a while. You are correct, and that's how long I've been trying to deal with this, because of people like you who somehow or another feel as if that my mother contacted you to pay you to be part of therapy. You decided on your own that you would be appropriate, and when questioned as to why you feel is appropriate, now is when you're coming up with all this fucking bullshit. And that's all you're fucking doing. And that's why it's a problem. Because it is a question of who and how you treat your patients, considering the fact that your main fear of this entire conversation is simply answering the question of what would you do and how would you provide services?
I answered that question.
No, you haven't. Again, you haven't. I've now asked over and over again, how would you provide services? And all you've done is state, I don't know if she's even my patient. I don't know if you want to be a patient. I don't know what's going on. Do you want to fucking review this phone call, Mark? Because I will make it available to you. Don't fucking play stupid games with me. You've been doing that shit for a fucking while. The fact of the matter is, you did not state clearly what would be the purpose of your services, neither then or now. And that is suspicious, considering the fact that this is an urgent matter, more than anything else. You are acting as if there is no problem with anyone saying that you're their fucking therapist, and anyone, whether it be a police officer or another mental health service worker, asking you whether or not they're delusional, whether or not they're stating something that by law, at some point in time, you have to state. I understand there's all kind of HIPAA things, but I also again understand you contacted me. This isn't a situation in which I'm some fucking person off the street that has no idea whether or not my mother's talked to you. As far as I know, she has talked to you, you are her therapist, and she's paid you. Those are 3 reasons. 3 reasons you cannot just fucking blow this phone call off as if you don't know who the fuck I am. you, Mark.
Have you finished?
Mark,
Or do you want to shout a bit more?
I have no desire to shout. Yeah, you're stumped. You're stumped because you've been manipulated. You've been gaslighted, and that's why you're stumped. People who are not lying like me have no problem saying things over and over again clearly, like this could have been issued or finished way minutes ago if you would have clearly stated what would have been the end goal. But you are not a proper therapist. Again, that's exactly why this is suspicious. Even with me, it would have been simpler to get me off the phone earlier and just done things via email. But you don't want that because that's actually more of a trail. This is just a phone call that's recorded that can be played back, but yeah, it's going to take longer to put it in a courtroom. But it's just, it still is what it is you gaslighting and bullshitting. That's why you want people in your fucking office. Because then it's just your little fucking notes about blah, 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 blah. All of this makes no fucking sense. No matter fucking what. That's why exactly you still haven't mentioned my mother's in fucking Florida. So realistically, again, even in the initial phone call from my mother, you should have said, hey, wait a second. Realistically, you in fucking Florida, Charlie's in San Francisco, so how the hell are we going to do this as it is anyway? And then it becomes a question of legality, which is also the problem that's going on right here, because you seem to understand that realistically in California you can play all this shit about I don't know blah blah blah, but in Florida there is the Baker Act, which means that my mother in front of you does what probably you see all the time, which means she acts delusional, and you say I think you should see another therapist and she doesn't, then that's grounds for 5150 in Florida. Here is not. My mother is very aware of that. Would you like me to explain more, Mark?
I'm unable to be able to speak to you because you just keep shouting at me.
I'm not shouting to you, Mark. I'm speaking to you. That's a fact.
The next time you shout at me, I'll have to...
I am not shouting at you, Mark. That's the whole thing. I am not shouting at you. The fact of the matter is you're listening to me on a technical device in which you can control the volume. So you're either an idiot or gaslighting. Because you can control the volume, Mark. Do you understand that you have a volume button?
Thank you.